Champions League comebacks make some of the most thrilling games in history. Players score screamers, coaches lose hair strands, and fans never give up. But today we will answer how these 5 clubs use their powerful hidden secrets to win games in the most impossible moments ever. In 2019, Liverpool faced Lionel Messi and FC Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final. In the first leg, Barcelona hammered Liverpool 3-0. Suarez opened the match with a lovely run into space. Messi dove the lead after hitting the crossbar, and with 10 minutes left, Messi scored one of the goals of his life. A free kick from an outrageous distance, only to be stunned in the second leg. And in the dying seconds, both Liverpool and Barca missed a massive chance that could have sealed the tie. Salah hit the post and Dembele didn't clutch. A thumping start for Barcelona and a nearly impossible return for Liverpool. 3-0 with 90 more minutes to come back from. One of the greatest Champions League comebacks in history. The Red Star man, Mohamed Salah, was out and the odds were against them. But Liverpool had a 12th man. Anfield, the place that brings fear to any outsider. The sea of red was loud, standing strong and supporting Liverpool the whole way through. The biggest test for Van Dijk. One more goal and Barcelona was moving to the finals. An electric burst from Liverpool gave life to the stadium. 3-1 on aggregate. Halftime was blown away and Jurgen Klopp had a lot more work to do. In the 54th minute, Gigi Wijnaldum laced through the ball, beating Ter Stegen, causing the stadium to erupt. 3-2 on aggregate, but 2 minutes later he scored his second, and at last Barcelona were tied with Liverpool. 3-3 on aggregate, and with the game inching further, Liverpool won a corner kick. As the Barcelona backline was trying to organize its defense, Alexander-Arnold began walking away from the ball. He immediately turned back when Divock Origi found a pocket in front of Ter Stegen. And with these famous words, "Corner taken quickly," Liverpool got its 4th.
Corner taken quickly, Origi! Yeah!
4-3 on aggregate, and Liverpool were going to the Champions League final. The match ended in tears for both sides as the tie switched in the final moments.
Before the game, I actually would say it's impossible.
A match that showed how strong Liverpool's blood really was. "You'll never walk alone" was chanted throughout the night as one of the Premier League's fiercest clubs defeated La Liga's glory team. Liverpool went on to win the Champions League that season and became the first English side to win the European Cup since Chelsea did in 2012. A lesson from Liverpool showing how never giving up can make any dream come true. But in the Atlético vs Juve match in 2019, Cristiano Ronaldo proved the entire world wrong of who he really is. CR7, known as the world's most famous footballer, doesn't just play for the money. He is a competitive monster that tore La Liga apart in his days at Madrid. At Real, Ronaldo built a strong target against the opposition. He hated Atlético since day one, as Real was the king of Madrid. In the first leg, Atlético took off fast. Dominance was unmatched as Atlético had several goal-scoring opportunities. Diego Costa's breakaway wide, Griezmann's shot off the crossbar cleared, and finally Morata's headed goal was disallowed by VAR. A remarkable dodge of damage, but the game soon collapsed. Atlético scored off a corner and their captain Godin scored their second. A thundering 2-0 lead on aggregate left Diego Simeone's park the bus tactics in perfect hands. Cristiano Ronaldo became frustrated, emotion tearing him loose, and soon Ronaldo wanted his revenge. Diego Simeone thought it was funny to celebrate by holding his nutsack in the air, but that only sparked a venom in Cristiano. Despite his talented tricks and good looks, he always had that hard-working Portuguese blood. His work ethic and discipline is above any player. Atlético fans made fun of Ronaldo after the game. He showed them the number 5, which stood for his 5 Champions League trophies he won previously, but that didn't stop the hatred online. Cristiano's disrespect from Atlético didn't stop him. He began training even harder as he knew how important this second leg was. 2-0 on aggregate at the Allianz Stadium against one of the most difficult teams to break down. Oblak at the time was regarded as one of football's best goalkeepers, and for Juventus to come back from this one, they needed a miracle. The match blew fast as Chiellini scored an opener only for it to be called back. Momentum shifted as Ronaldo grew in confidence, and in the 27th minute he roofed the ball from a header. 2-1 on aggregate, and the stadium was reborn. The buildup of energy began erupting, and in the 48th minute, he scored another goal from a cross. The ball crossed the line. 2-2, game on. The match at its maximum intensity, but then Juve was given a penalty. A darting run from the wingback and a silly challenge inside the box. Ronaldo on the break of his hat-trick scored the winner, and Juventus were on their way to the quarterfinals. Turin was alive as Ronaldo repeated Diego Simeone's inappropriate celebration from the previous match. Ronaldo's determination is uncontrollable, and with the ties seeping into the trenches, he pulled his team right back up. A truly remarkable story with the power of his fearless mentality. He has cured the bloodbath from Madrid. It goes to show how a person's religious grit and leadership can bring any team back from the dark. A world class of brilliance and importance on not losing the second chance. He failed in the first leg but took control of the second. The Champions League story of Ronaldo's revenge left the minds of Atlético frozen, but in the Man City Real Madrid match back in May, we will find out how football physiologically affects the minds of players at the top level. The tie was exciting as Man City were faced against the kings of the Champions League. The semi-final began in Manchester where no one could compete at the pace of the game. De Bruyne kicked the game off. Soon after, Gabriel Jesus spinned around Alaba and City were 2 up. Benzema replied with a simple redirection only until Phil Foden heated it up for a third. A small dig from across and City were 3-1 up. The game was electric as City had chance after chance to score a fourth, but it was caught short when Vinny Jr. scored the goal of his life after his nutmeg dummy on Fernandinho. He outpaced the backline and gave Real another. City's waves of pressure kept penetrating Madrid's defense, and from a piece of magic from Bernardo Silva, City were 4 up. Madrid were in shock and were graciously given a penalty. Laporte's outreach hand gave Benzema a chance, and with no doubt and confidence, he scored football's most disrespectful penalty, the Panenka.
In a moment that matters massively, Karim Benzema, immaculately calm, ridiculously calm, deliciously calm.
It's quite insane how important that goal was for Real, and to have the courage to do a Panenka on the biggest stage is well above anyone. The game finished 4-3 and everyone was excited for Madrid. Riyad Mahrez unleashed a rocket in the 73rd minute, giving City a 5-3 lead on aggregate. Players and fans felt crushed physically as they headed into the 80th minute down 2 goals on aggregate. City were minutes away from reaching the Champions League final and they almost scored again, but the ball was clear off the line by Benjamin Mendy. The atmosphere was boiling, and in the 90th minute, Real Madrid's young Rodrigo made it 4-5 on aggregate. An assist from King Karim, but Madrid were 1 goal shy. And in the 95th minute, Rodrigo scored his second, lifting up Madrid from the shadows of misery.
Rodrigo! Oh, extraordinary!
5-5, overtime was here.
They prayed for miracles, and miracles arrived!
A truly unbelievable moment, and with 5 minutes into overtime, Madrid were rewarded with a penalty, a dive onto Benzema from Ruben Diaz, and with 1 opportunity left, Benzema finished what he started, 6-5 on aggregate, and Madrid were going to the Champions League final. Real Madrid's escape from Manchester looked impossible, but after watching that match, every man would believe that anything is possible. The Spanish heavyweight came back from the depths of football, but how did this game really affect each player? For Real, it was simple. Each player knew how important every second was. They maximized their opportunities and shut down the opposition. There were no words to describe this special moment, but for Manchester City, it was beyond depressing leaving the pitch that night. The season was theirs. The final was approaching, but they conceded 2 goals within added time. The media became chaotic as Man City left confused as of what just happened.
But yeah, we were close, and football is unpredictable.
Sometimes in these moments, the real emotion and feeling doesn't reach until the next day.
It felt like we could have won with a better result, with a better score.
City dominated the entirety of the 2 legs, but fell just short in the final moments.
I think that we played a good game against a really strong rival. We were able to equalize the game. Of course, we had psychologically we were better in the extra time.
It ranks as one of the craziest comebacks in Champions League history. 11 goals between the 2 sides over 2 games. Another successful season for Real as they took home the Champions League and finished on top in La Liga. Benzema went on to win the Ballon d'Or that year and left a heartwarming story for every aspiring player. Never give up on your team. For the entirety of all sports, the underdog always led with a thin edge. A team with fewer supporters, a group aiming to lose on paper, and a club that's praying for hope. But in the Roma x-Barcelona matchup, this was well beyond the case. The tie started at Camp Nou where Barcelona legends began running the show. De Rossi fluffed his challenge on Messi and scored an own goal for his side. Later on, a Barcelona cross led into a ricochet off the post and into another own goal. Roma 2-0 down, and time was whispering away. Piqué continued the scoring with a cheeky tap-in, but then Edin Dzeko scored 3-1 on the board until Suarez completed Barcelona's tally for the night. 4-1 from Messi's side, and Roma were in the mud. They had nothing to lose in the second leg and kicked off from a wonder ball into Edin Dzeko, trailing 4-2 on aggregate but with 1 away goal in hand. 2 more and they were through. Halftime flew fast, and in the 58th minute, Dzeko was brought down for a penalty. De Rossi hammered it past Ter Stegen and Roma were within 1. Barca began defending for their lives as Roma ramped up the energy. 8 minutes left, and from a corner, Manolas rised on the occasion.
Roma have risen from their ruins, Manolas, the Greek god in Rome!
An underrated tie in Champions League history that left tears on Iniesta. It was his last Champions League match in a Barcelona shirt. Devastation amongst the squad and the fans felt weak. 4-4 on aggregate, and at the time Roma moved on through away goals. A rule set that was quickly changed in the 22 Champions League season. A message of imagination. What if Roma could stop Messi in Barcelona?
It was incredible, crazy, I don't know how to describe it, but at the end we did it when definitely nobody believed in us.
A surprising upset to the football world.
I think they could certainly get a result tonight. I'm not sure they can pull back the whole 3 goals.
A masterclass of defined discipline.
From beginning to end,
Roma deserve this.
A day to never be forgotten.
You wouldn't bother to prepare for that scenario, would you? Because it simply couldn't happen. The chances of Roma coming back that night were slim. The chances of a big Greek centre-half scoring the goal were almost nothing. It was one of those nights where planets aligned, really.
But in the Real Madrid-Wolfsburg match in 2016, Ronaldo did the unthinkable. Wolfsburg opened the first leg with a strike from the penalty spot. They doubled their lead in the closing moments, which left Ronaldo in the perfect situation. He scored 2 goals within 2 minutes, and in the 77th minute, he got the game winner from a brilliant free kick.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Beautiful! Something close to genius! He's turned the tie around all by himself!
A hat-trick from Cristiano, and Real Madrid were moving to the semis. Real went on to win the Champions League that season, but without Ronaldo's creativity, they might have never made it past the quarters. Ronaldo is by far the king of the Champions League and has proven more than most footballers could ever try. Prime Ronaldo with Real Madrid, a club that never gives up in the Champions League. And if you did enjoy these 5 crazy matchups, I made another video on the greatest Manchester derbies.